This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
It's steamy out. Hot town, summer in the city.
Yeah, it's humid out is the problem. But I turned on this new air conditioner I got. Things should be nice and chilly in here soon. And hopefully you can't hear the air conditioner because it's supposed to be one of these quiet ones made for podcasting.
Yeah. I'm one of these guys, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I like it in the summer, and I know this is wrong, but I like walking into a home or a store where it's too cold. When it's like really hot out, and it's like, oh God, this is colder than I've ever been, and I like it.
I don't like that. It's too cold.
Yeah, I know, but isn't it nice after being so hot?
Sometimes.
It's like, I do
It's
this.
unnecessary.
I wake up every morning, Tom.
The planet's on fire, Tim, and you're saying, make it so cold it hurts.
Well, this is part of my daily routine. I do the cold plunge
In
as soon as
your
I
plunge
wake up.
pool?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then in the hot tub, 2.5 hours, back in the plunge pool.
2.5 hours, that's too long, Tim.
Tom,
You're going to get very
it
sick.
properly boils my bones to the point where they're malleable enough that I can freeze them back up in the plunge pool.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think of it.
Tom.
I didn't think about it that way.
Believe science.
Well, speaking of science, Tim, let me ask you a question. This is something I learned today. Do you remember those Publishers Clearinghouse commercials with Ed McMahon?
Yeah.
Describe them.
Okay. So picture this.
Uh-huh.
An average John Q. Public, an average homeowner, going about his business
Yes.
in his home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe reading the newspaper, watching television, watching the evening news.
Uh-huh.
Gets a knock on the door.
Mhm.
I'm not expecting anybody.
Uh-huh.
Walks to the door. Who's there? He opens the door. It's a camera crew. It's Ed McMahon. It's a big check. It's balloons. It's, I think, at least in the 80s, a bunch of like ladies in like sequined gowns and stuff, just going like, ooh. And then they say, guess what? Because you got all that mail, we're going to give you, $2.5 million a week for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And Ed McMahon goes, ah.
Yes.
Yes. No, his famous catchphrase, ah.
Tim, what if I told you Ed McMahon never worked for the Publishing Clearinghouse? That is a Mandela effect.
Is that true?
Yes, that is true. He never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. He was never a spokesperson for Publishers Clearinghouse.
Why is he associated with it in so many people's minds? There's got to be something.
There are some
Was
things.
there a hilariously classic Carson bit where he lampooned it?
No, but he worked for a company called like American Publishing something that was like intentionally meant to be confusing. But he still never went to the house.
Well, I always assumed that, like, for me, because, like, whenever I would see the Publishers Clearinghouse, I was always like, where's McMahon? Where's McMahon? I was like, oh, he probably only does, like, the high-profile ones, or more likely the ones in, like, the Burbank area. He probably wouldn't get on a plane for that. You can't get Ed McMahon on a plane for less than $500,000.
He's long dead. But, Tim, they recently turned this Hard-On Collider back on at CERN.
Yeah.
And now look what's happening.
Yeah, Ed McMahon turns out never gave out a big check.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're back in a different universe again.
So I don't know if this is Mandela effect, because it would be like if somebody what's like all right, I can't think of an example, but what if there was like if somebody was like, oh, Jonathan, this is going to be a deep cut that, Tom, follow me here. If people started thinking like Jonathan Silverman was on the TV show Friends.
Right.
And it's like, no, he was on a show called The Single Guy, which was intentionally ripping off Friends.
Mm-hmm.
But he was never on Friends, actually, right? But the powers that be at NBC were trying to get you to think that Jonathan Silverman... They're trying to get you to associate him with Friends.
Ed McMahon was in TV commercials for American Family Publishers.
Did they give away money?
They, I don't know if they gave away money, but his face was on envelopes that they would send to houses.
Okay.
And he was in a commercial with Dick Clark.
Yeah, I mean, the two of them hosted TV's bloopers and practical jokes
and there
together.
are pictures of Ed McMahon with big checks.
Oh, and balloons.
But it's not Publishers Clearinghouse.
Okay, I mean, that's splitting hairs.
But so many people think...
Tom, this is now a Mandela Effect assessment podcast. This does not meet the criteria to be the Mandela Effect.
This doesn't... This is just, a case of everybody misremembering?
No, this is a case of they intentionally got him to be a spokesman of a company that did the same thing with a similar name. There's a picture. You just showed me a picture of Ed McMahon with a homeowner outside.
All right, well, I've got some other ones I want to...
And ladies in sequins.
They weren't in sequins. It was just a regular dress lady. Some of these are like kind of dumb where it's like Alaska Airlines. People swear it used to be Alaskan Airlines.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. Yeah. I never paid that close of attention to it. Skechers.
Yeah, but people would be like, no, when I was a kid, it was called Barnes and Nobles. It's like, no, you just didn't know.
You were just a kid.
Yeah, you got
idiot.
you got the name wrong.
A similar one with Skechers. People claim that it used to have a T in it, but it apparently never had a T. It was always Skechers.
Right, they assumed and
but here's one.
Nobody ever had the reason
here's
write
one.
down the word Skechers. It's not like, hey, a Christmas list, give me Skechers. Nobody's asking Santa for that.
They might.
All right, then they misspelled it, and that's why they didn't get it. Because Santa was a stickler.
Many people, this is from BuzzFeed, many people distinctly recall an intro in which Tinkerbell flew onto the screen, writing out Disney, and then dotted the I with her wand. Then that never happened.
Really?
You remember that too, right?
I think I saw that just this morning.
What? So you're saying between this morning and now, they did something at that Hadron Collider, and here we are.
Large Hadron Collider. Yeah, they turned it on.
In the wrong universe again.
Yeah.
What were you watching Were you watching Pinocchio this morning? How many mornings do you watch Pinocchio?
I watch my favorite scenes of Pinocchio when all the scary scenes. It gets me amped for the day when all the boys turn into donkeys at Pleasure Island.
That is pretty scary.
But it also gets you amped up.
Yeah.
Gets you in the right mindset to really seize the day.
Here's another one, Tim. I mean, in some of these, it's like, okay, I get it because like there's a lot of like a famous one is not a Mandela Effect one, but like people just getting shit wrong. That Darth Vader never actually says, Luke, I am your father.
Right.
It's like, just everybody misremembers it. It's a collective thing. One of those potentially, or could be because they turned that collider on. On I Love Lucy, Ricky never said, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
That's not true, though. Does he say, they're like, in the script it said, you have some explaining to do.
Well, that wouldn't be very, I don't know, funny, I guess, if he said it correctly. But no, apparently he never said.
Well, you can't prove a negative, so he probably...
you can prove it by watching all of I Love Lucy.
Desi Arnaz never said that. I'm not saying he said it on the broadcast, but he might have said it at some point.
Well, but that's not where everybody knows it from.
It might be.
Lore. And people
oral history.
People say they also remember Lucy saying it to him sometimes, which makes sense. Yeah. That's always like a sitcom
I think
thing.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's a sitcom thing. Like turn it around. Like, oh, now Carl's the one asking Urkel if he has any cheese.
Right.
That gets a big laugh because everybody's like, no, that's what Urkel says, not what Carl says.
$10,000 if you can find any evidence of Carl Winslow asking Steve Urkel if he has any cheese.
No, Tim, of course not. That's what I'm saving for my meeting with ABC when I pitch the reboot. Say, get this. Everybody's expecting Urkel's going to say it, but we turn it on its head. And Carl says it to Urkel. And Urkel says, I've been waiting 30 years for you to ask me that, Carl.
Did Carl ever like wander into one
Have
of
any cheese?
No, he had cheese. They showed it on the show. Did he ever wander into one of Urkel's magical machines and get like Urkel-fied? I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
I think he did.
Probably like last season. Like,
yeah, they put him in glasses and suspenders and had him do an Urkel.
He might have come in and said, "Got any cheese?"
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to go through trouble putting him in that costume, you better have him ask if Urkel's got any cheese.
What was it, the CBS season at the end? Like, ABC canceled it and, like, got picked up by CBS, and, like, they sent Carl and Urkel to the moon.
Yeah, things got real wacky.
Yeah, Urkel had all these machines that did all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And why do we celebrate it? You know, we laugh at it. We make fun of it when that happens on Family Matters. But when it happens in Calvin and Hobbes, it's high art.
Well, in Calvin and Hobbes, it's like it's happening in Calvin's imagination.
Yeah, but we're seeing it from that perspective.
Maybe they've just got to make it. Maybe this is part of my reboot. I'll also retroactively make all the crazy stuff that was happening in Urkel's imagination.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. But not Carl asking if he's got any cheese.
No, that's
show him
real life. That kind of.
It'll show him waking up from a daydream under a tree going, those were some wacky adventures I dreamed up, but from now on, everything's real. And then, yes, maybe he's got any cheese. He comes up and what?
Then that's the blackout line.
Yeah, Urkel looks at the camera. Huh? Yeah. Then Family Matters. We all remember the way Family Matters opened, which is an announcer saying, Family Matters! And then the show would start. Here's one that I don't remember ever that I think I've always been in this universe. The placement of the thinker statue's hand
under his chin.
Yes, but a lot of people swear that it was on his forehead.
Oh no, can't get any thinking done that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Yeah. They had him like that, and
Tom,
people misremember it.
It occurs to me, some of this stuff might have been covered on our episode about the Mandela effect.
Yeah, but that was a while ago, and who even knows if that episode exists in this universe?
Exactly. They
people
on
might
that
be listening to this
morning.
going, they never did an episode on the Mandela effect. No, these are new Mandela effect.
Or some people be like, I could have sworn they did one. Tom, go in and delete the Mandela effect episode from the feed.
No, these are all new Mandela effect stuff, so these would not have been covered. Okay. Some people recall the order of traffic light colors being green at the top, then yellow, then red.
Well, those people, I don't know. They're dumb. We should take their licenses away. Or is that like a officer? No judge can convict you. No jury in the world will convict you
if you
of
say
a
you're from
crime
a different universe.
If you, if you claim that you're in a different universe, and it's like, I didn't run a red light. Green is on the top.
Yeah.
Until they turned on that large hadron collider.
Hard-on collider.
I don't think that's right.
I mean, hadron's not a word. Have you ever heard that word before? And you've heard the word hard-on tens of thousands of times.
Especially paired with large.
In the Saw movies, Jigsaw doesn't say, would you like to play a game, or do you want to play a game? He says, I want to play a game. Again, it's like, oh, okay. I've never seen any of those movies, so...
Yeah, you really were trying to wow me with that.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of movie ones. The Color of Tony the Tiger's Nose. He's got a blue nose.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I think
a lot of
you
these
told
are
me
just
that like 3 years
it's
ago.
a new one. It's new in this universe. A lot of these ones.
You're just reading me a BuzzFeed list?
No, now I'm on a website called therichest.com.
Ooh.
I mean, a lot of these are things where it's like, okay, I never paid that close attention to this, so either one could be right. I don't know. This is a dumb one. They said that an American Tail, about Fievel.
Yeah. The one before he went west.
How is tail spelled in
Tail, because they're freaking...
Because it's a mouse. Yeah, and people are saying, no, it used to not. It's like, no, the whole reason why it was called that. Yeah.
No, it's a tale. They told us a story.
I mean, some are real dumb. This one is that the Boss Baby used to be called Boss Baby, not the Boss Baby. It's like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
maybe they
Also, I could see them like leaving off the on some of the posters because nobody really cares.
Well, I mean, look at this poster. Look at how tiny the is there. And
it's,
again,
for the listener at home, it's tiny.
imagine if you went through the trouble.
Tinier than the Boss Baby himself.
If you can imagine that. Imagine if you went through all the trouble of traveling to a different universe through the Large Hadron Collider. And that was the only difference. That Boss Baby is now the Boss Baby. But it makes sense. If there's infinite multiverses and infinite universes, there's going to be a universe where the only difference is that the Boss Baby is called Boss Baby.
This is why I don't buy the infinite universe theory.
Why is that?
It's too many universes.
I mean, that's part of the theory, Tim. And it does kind of make sense that if there's so many universes, yeah, there's going to be one where that's literally the only difference.
Yeah. But then there's one where that's a difference and that box that's at a 30-degree angle behind you is at a 31-degree angle.
Yeah.
That's too many universes.
Tim, and you're not even...
Think of all the boxes in the world and all the possible angles that they could be at.
And you're talking about a whole degree of an angle. You can go tenths of a degree, hundredth, thousandth, millionth of a degree.
This is... I don't...
They got to turn off that collider.
Turn off the collider.
Before
it's too complicated.
It's too complicated. Too much to keep track of. # turn off the collider.
Tombo.
Yeah.
This week, much like last week, we're here to solve some problems. We got so many emails last week.
And you know, what are we, monsters? We're gonna just look at people struggling, drowning in the ocean with a desperate hand reaching out to us for help.
Drowning in credit card debt. You know what?
We can help.
Yeah, we should do. I mean, number one, we should start like a loan refinancing company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number two,
work that into the Patreon.
Yeah.
We'll have a level where we'll also refinance your loans.
And number two, we should have a Tim and Tom solve your problems where you send in all your financial issues, and we'll be like, who's that? The lady on the
Susie Orman?
Yeah,
is that who you're thinking of? Yeah.
Is that the one where people come up and they're like, I want to buy a boat?
Yeah.
And she's like, okay.
I'm in $5 million of credit card debt.
Yeah, but like you give her all your stats, and then she goes, no, you can't buy a boat.
You can't buy a boat. You can't buy a hamburger.
Yeah. And then he's like, damn it. You hear
I
him
was
trying
hoping
to
the
return
lady
a
on-
hamburger to the...
I was hoping the lady on TV would give me the okay to make this horrible financial decision.
But we should do that.
Yeah.
Tom?
Just start sending us all your social security numbers and
bank account information.
Bank account, login,
and we'll tell you
password.
if you can buy a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
we'll
really
log
got to
in.
dig in to make sure.
Yeah. And then if the answer is no, you can't buy a boat, we can help you get to there by refinancing your loans.
Yeah. And we'll set up the payments because we've already got your account information. It's going to be so easy.
One stop
You're not
shop.
going to know how you live without it.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
this is another episode of Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems.
Yeah.
We do this pretty often.
No, we don't.
I mean, we do these
That's why
episodes.
we're able to do 2 episodes back to back of just problems.
We do these Solve Your Problems episodes more often than we do an episode about, say, beans.
Yeah. We've only done that once.
Yeah.
So far.
I remember one time during the height of the pandemic,
Uh-huh.
we were recording remotely all the time.
We were recording remarkably.
Well, we were. We did win all those awards, Tom. And I think you were just like, we haven't done a Solves Your Problems episode in a while, and we had done one literally the week before. And the same thing happened today. You're like,
No, I knew we had done one
right.
last week.
Anyway, we always want to hear your problems. So if you have them, email us at thecompleteguidetoeverything@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get right into it?
We've been talking for 20 minutes, but yeah, let's
We're
get right
cutting all
into
that
it.
out. That was just so we could get loose. It's
All right.
at improv shows when you go like dip dorp dum dimp.
Yeah,
before.
zip zop zap.
Yeah,
That's what they
I never
call
took an improv class.
Yeah, well,
Um,
you were completely wrong, you idiot.
That was our zip zop dip dorp.
Yeah,
That's
our
not
zip-
for the audience to
That's
hear.
just for us.
Yeah. Hey Tim and Tom, please
Mhm.
don't use my real name.
Okay. Boy name, girl name.
I don't know.
I'll give the name. How about this? I'll give a neutral name.
I mean, any name could be anything.
Sandy.
Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, trivia question.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man named Sandy
Yes.
on a popular television show who passed away on a very special episode. Name.
Oh, is it from Sesame Street?
No.
Oh,
What do you think?
that I don't know.
Growing Pains.
Oh,
Yeah. It is a very special drunk driving episode. Sandy, played by
oh, it was Mike's
Matthew
girlfriend or something, right?
Perry. No,
Oh
it's
no,
Matt.
Matt, his friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it was the Carol, her boyfriend.
Oh, it was Carol's boyfriend. Yeah, I remember that episode. I forgot that was Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
It's a
Well.
shame he didn't learn that lesson about substances then.
Well, Tom, you don't have to bring that up. It's-
Well, it is a shame. Oh, you're glad that he didn't? That he went on to have more problems with it?
They made a version of The Odd Couple with Matthew Perry and Thomas Lennon.
Yeah, I remember
that
that.
went for like several seasons on
on CBS, I think. Yeah.
Weird.
CBS has a bunch of you couldn't name probably two shows.
Joel
on
McHale
CBS.
has a show there that I think is just like he owns like a hunting store or something.
We should get it. We should get one of these CBS shows nobody
Yeah.
watches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seemed pretty lucrative.
We can work at the Large Hadron Collider.
This one comes from Sandy. Hey, Tim and Tom, please don't use my real name. I've been a big fan of the show for a couple of years now.
Mhm.
Went back and listened to every episode, and although I don't think I've learned much of anything, okay, blah, blah, it has always been exceptionally enjoyable. You learned a lot,
Tim,
Sandy.
you don't like if somebody isn't just 100%.
Well, they learned things.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't.
They
You knew that
learned-
Matthew Perry played Sandy on Growing
Well,
Pains.
they haven't listened to this episode yet.
Yeah,
This might be the first episode they learned something.
But I've said that several times. This isn't the first
Well, I
time.
didn't learn it. I didn't remember.
Anyway, I have a problem I need your guys' expert advice on. I recently had a friend move in with me that hums all the time. If we're watching TV on the couch, he's humming. Having a conversation with him, if I'm the one talking, he's humming. All day long, he never stops unless he is sleeping. That's good, though.
Mhm.
It is distracting and quite annoying, and I would assume he would have to agree if he had heard himself, or if he hears himself. But I don't want to ask him to stop because it's as much his space as it is mine now. Is it okay if I ask him to stop humming? I've lived alone for most of my adult life, so I'm not sure how to properly handle this sort of situation. Can you please help? Is that a thing, though? Are we allowed to be talking about this?
Is somebody humming? Like,
Is it like
a tick or something like
yeah,
that?
is it like,
Well, I'm not aware of that, but it could be. So there you go. There's your first, maybe, have some tact about it.
tread lightly, lest
I
you'll
would
be
say,
canceled,
do you-
Sandy.
do
Much
you-
like Matthew Perry was canceled
Why was he canceled?
off of Growing Pains.
No, I don't think he was canceled. I think he was probably brought on
He's
just
written
for
off
that
the show.
storyline.
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly fine to ask your roommate, hey, do you realize you like hum all the time? I'm also curious what this, if it's just humming like
Monotone or like
yeah. Or, because then it's fine. Because then it's like, oh, that's nice. Grow up, Sandy.
Yeah.
You got a nice, you got a nice backdrop to you talking to somebody.
Exactly. You come with your own background. It's like you're living in a movie.
Yeah. I know that, like, I don't think she always did this, but I noticed when I'm ever in the car with my mom in recent years, she hums along to the radio, but like not.
But yeah, my mom does the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Where
it's like you're kind of going along with the thing, but it's also kind of like monotone and sometimes falls out of the right.
No, my mom just like, if it is, let's say it's Kelly Clarkson, Since You Be Gone, is my mom will just be humming like,
some people just don't have, perfect pitch like you.
Yeah, it drives me absolutely. I mean, my solution when this happens is I wait like 30 seconds for her to stop doing it. She doesn't stop, and I go, "Can you not do that?"
You just blow your top. Your face from your chin goes up, and just gets redder and redder. You see, my mom would be like this.
Yeah, that's
like she loses interest in humming, but doesn't stop humming.
That's fine. I feel like that's kind of like
let's just end the hum then.
Yeah,
the hum's over.
You're gradually
you're not
get
contractually obligated to finish the song.
Let me fade it out so Tim doesn't notice. So yeah, I'm curious if it's a monotone hum or a or some kind of melodic hum that this person's doing. I was gonna suggest somehow getting them mic'd up in a way that would create feedback in your apartment when they did it. To maybe try and get them to stop doing it.
See, if I had a roommate that was miking me up, I feel like
yeah,
it would be less to create feedback to discourage me from humming, and more like, why are you recording everything that I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm imagining like putting a lavalier mic on the person on their lapel.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, that's hard to do discreetly.
Yeah.
What
do you think about this, and what do you think about? Well, the spray bottle is always a last resort to get somebody to stop doing something. It's just spraying them with water without saying anything. They'll understand. What do you think about the idea of the Sandy, starting to just do this all the time?
Like fart noises or whatever?
Not even fart noise, just,
Yeah. Sounds like a fart to me, Tom.
And then waiting for the roommate to say something, and then saying can say, "Oh, I thought this is like we could do whatever noises we want in this apartment."
Yeah, that seems a little passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. I mean, I guess you could just ask, "Do you notice that you hum all the time?"
Also, Tom, I don't know if you know this about me. All day long.
Yeah.
Because I just came off paternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
I literally go.
Oh, yeah.
Just constantly, like, when nobody else is around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've done it since I've, like, come here tonight, but, like, I've done it a ton today already.
Yeah, I heard you doing it in the bathroom before.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's
You
what
were really getting into it.
Exactly. That's practicing. But, like, and I do it absentmindedly now. So maybe this guy was humming. Maybe he had a job as a professional hummer at some point.
Yeah.
And,
maybe he worked at the Hummer dealership.
Yeah, and now he doesn't realize that he's doing it all the time, like me with the goo goo gaga noises.
Yeah, I think you just got to ask him or mic up your apartment so that creates feedback, and then they stop doing it. Thank you for your problem, Sandy.
Tommy, we got another question.
Okay.
This one comes from somebody, I don't know the gender. You're always trying to gender people, and I'm not trying to misgender people. So let's hear another name.
Meredith.
Yeah. Burgess Meredith or Meredith Vieira?
It could be Meredith. Meredith can be a boy's name too.
Burgess Meredith.
No, that's who am I thinking of? Meredith
Vieira. That's a lady.
You read and I'll tell you.
Well, no, you're not going to listen. If
I'm
you're looking
listening.
Up
I can
male
multitask. Let me just search male Meredith.
Well, now I'm too invested in this.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Stacy Keach. Stacy Keach. Keach, I think, with the T?
Yeah.
Or is it like Skechers and they changed it? And now we can't even keep track.
So should this be Stacy? All
yeah.
right. Sorry, apologies to Merediths out there. Tom, what are you doing? What are you looking up now?
Keach with no T.
Oh.
But I swear it used to have a T.
Well, no. It definitely didn't. But, like, it's not quiche.
Meredith can be a boy's name. Yeah, right here. Burgess Meredith.
All right. From Stacy.
Uh-huh.
They write, the other day I saw a colleague pouring a pretty hefty quantity of salt on her McDonald's fries.
Those fries come pre-salted.
Yeah, I made some friendly comment about how that seemed a bit excessive.
Friendly comment.
Yeah, about how that seemed a bit excessive. Yeah, let's. I don't know. You threaded that needle.
Hey, I think that's enough salt, fatty.
And she paused, looked at me like I was crazy, and asked, "Don't you like salt on your fries?" Long story short, it turned into a debate as she insisted that they put no salt on the fries at McDonald's. She didn't mean not enough salt.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't ask for a special no salt portion of fries.
That she could then salt herself.
She didn't mean at some obscure McDonald's I've never been to.
Right.
She meant
they have standards.
She meant at the McDonald's next to our office, where I know for a fact that they have a jumbo salt shaker.
Yeah.
They use to pour hefty quantities of salt. Tom, calm down.
Well, I'm just thinking about
You're
they've
getting all
got
riled up.
that big cup, and the worker puts the salt on it.
She meant at the McDonald's next to our office, where I know for a fact that they have a jumbo salt shaker. They used to pour hefty quantities of salt on all of the fries. You can see them do it.
Yeah, you can see the salt on the fries.
Tom?
What?
Hold your
Well,
comments
then
to
don't
the end. What? Don't
ask
pause
me.
at the end of a sentence?
Yeah.
Here's the part that really blew my mind. In my naivete, I looked around to my other colleagues for support and crickets. Either they weren't sure or didn't know. One colleague...
or a third option, did not want to get involved.
One colleague even told the story of how that one time in some random McDonald's, they forgot to salt the fries, which everyone somehow interpreted as disproving my point.
What? Because one time they did it?
Yeah, at a different McDonald's. Some random McDonald's, not even the one next to their office, Tom.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now I'm... All right. They then met my offers of trying to convince them with condescension. Slowly, they began to advocate for the fact that she was right. I asked them to, quote, do research and offered to, quote, go down with them right now to the McDonald's to see. I felt like I was going crazy. They lost interest and everyone dropped the whole thing. Here's where, like, to me, the letter should end.
Yeah.
It's like, and they dropped it. As soon as I left work that day, I asked as many people as I could if McDonald's fries had salt on them, and absolutely 100% of the people answered that of course they do. I have no idea how my office is exclusively filled with the only people in the world that would believe otherwise. The problem... we're gonna use this person's real name. It's Kaz.
Okay. Did they say not to?
No.
Okay.
And also, like, you're pushing it this far. We're unmasking you.
Wow.
Like, if you're gonna
Tim
take
is
things,
gonna have a chilling effect on other people wanting to email in.
how do I prove to my colleagues that they are unequivocally wrong about this really unimportant debate that I've been tricked into feeling strongly about without seeming to be petty about the whole thing? Thanks for your help and for this wonderful podcast, Kaz.
Two things.
How was Kaz tricked into feeling strongly about it? It seemed like everybody was really trying to drop it.
Yeah,
to the point where they
I
were
think she
not
was
making eye
misreading.
contact with Kaz.
Yeah, because even if you have to realize, Kaz, that these fries have salt on it. And if this person's then...
These people knew. These other people knew.
They didn't want to get involved. But then on top of that, if somebody's putting more than like, I don't know, just like a quick shake of salt on fries, because didn't they say that the person was putting like a lot of salt on?
Yeah, that is. Oh, I made some friendly. Put a pretty hefty quantity of salt on McDonald's fries. Okay.
So then you've got to see that.
You can't comment though.
Yeah,
you can't comment on people's salt. You can't comment. It's 2022. You can't comment on anything anybody does.
Are you out there to get canceled?
Yeah, you're not allowed to do anything. And like I support that. No, but I
I support. Look, if
I kind of do support like not being able to comment on anybody's behavior ever, but no, you're absolutely not allowed to be like, hey, I'm commenting on your food habits or eating. Like you got no idea.
One time I was at work and somebody made a comment about what I was eating for lunch, which I think was like something healthy. And they came over and like I didn't talk to him or anything. And they just felt the need to tell me that what I was eating that I thought was healthy wasn't actually healthy, as they were literally eating out of a jumbo-sized bag of M&Ms. So I commented on that, and then all of a sudden I was the bad guy.
Then I got fired.
I didn't get fired, but like, I was like, oh, the person eating out of a 1 pound bag at M&Ms is going to tell me that I'm not eating
that the
right.
McDonald's salad isn't like as healthy as
it was something like
some
that.
People think it is, even though I'm sure you knew that it was garbage.
Yeah,
and you were like, it's got fried
like
chicken in it.
Yeah.
I know it's not healthy.
But it was healthier than eating 1 pound of M&Ms, unfortunately.
Also, people got weird food stuff. That's the thing. Like, sometimes, like, my wife will be like, did you have the last cookie? And I'll feel like this rage in me, like, how dare you? Like, and it's like, oh,
well, I think that's a different issue.
I got food issues. No, it's just like, I got, like, people have food issues and don't even realize it.
Did you eat that entire package of cookies that I just bought? Don't comment on my eating.
No, but like, it's like, it's a mixture of shame and like, confusion.
This is the second week in a row you've mentioned to me. The last week it was off mic about cookies in your house. It sounds like
I got a thing with
a lot of drama around cookies.
See, there's the thing. I'm getting like
no, it's on mic. I remember.
I'm getting a little defensive right now. I got like
stop bringing up my cookies.
Yeah, I got cookie issues over here that I'm working through. I'm not working through them. I guess this is part of working through it.
That's why you come to this therapy session every week. So I was just going to say, if the person's already putting what you thought was a lot of salt on fries, stay out of it, because like anybody that's, I don't know, people are weird. I'm not a big salt person. I don't put salt.
I don't add salt to
anything. I almost never add salt to anything. I properly
season my food as I'm cooking it.
Same here. But
with
even
a lot of salt.
Even if I'm eating out, I don't put a lot of salt on. I like rare. I don't know. I think it's just because like I'm an idiot and I don't think like, I can put salt on this.
They put like if you think you put a lot of salt in when you're cooking. Mm-hmm. They put 10 times as much salt. Yeah. That's why the food at restaurants tastes so good.
But I was going to say that I think that's what this person's problem probably is like once you get used to, I feel like you build like a tolerance to salt.
Yeah.
And then if you're not putting a ton of salt on something, you're not tasting anything.
Yeah.
But I have the legitimate actual fix for this problem. Not the fix for this problem, but a way this person can prove to everybody. I'm sure if you go on McDonald's.com, they have the nutritional listings of everything. Yeah. And I'm sure you could look at the sodium content and it's like, oh yeah, small fries is 70% of the sodium you need
Let's
today.
See, they might even have to have like ingredients.
Yeah, but it's probably like potatoes, natural flavors, artificial flavors, salt.
Yeah,
that's probably all they have to list. But I'm sure that they have
I don't want McDonald's to access my location.
Yeah, no, tell them where we are, Tim. Maybe they'll build a McDonald's near us. That'd be the dream.
How is it that websites are now asking for my location all the time?
Grandpa, I don't know how you want me to answer that.
It's a legitimate
because
question.
they assume if you're going on McDonald's.com, you're going there
I know
to
my
see where
zip
the local
code.
McDonald's is. Yeah, but sometimes zip codes, it's like, I don't know, zip code, I want to know where it is closest to me on a GPS location, not just within my zip code. And some places don't have zip codes, Tim. You ever think of that?
Name one place that doesn't have a zip code.
England.
Snacks and sides. World famous fries.
Yeah. And what does it say?
A small. 220 calories. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
10 grams of fat.
Mm-hmm.
29 grams of carbs.
Tim, what's the number we're looking for?
Sodium.
Yes.
180 milligrams.
Which is what percentage?
8% of your daily value in
It's not that much. I guess they don't put salt on them.
Kaz,
you can also go to the McDonald's and film them. You could probably ask, like, hey, can I get a picture of you with the big salt shaker? I'll give you $5.
yeah, let me just be like, yeah, you put that in one of those AI generators.
Do what with it?
No, like your coworkers will be like, you
and
typed in McDonald's employee putting salt on fries.
Yeah. But I mean, the salt shaker's just out. They don't hide it. Like, if you go there, you can be like, see,
Tom,
there it is.
Kaz, here's the thing. This is what we all know.
Yeah. Cassie's got to drop it.
The person putting salt on the fries
Mhm.
was embarrassed because you called them out for being a glutton
Yeah.
for salt.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, your comments, hold on, made everybody else feel uncomfortable. And when you tried to enlist them to help you shame this person that was putting more than their daily value of sodium on their fries,
They wisely chose to stay out of it.
yeah. And when you pushed them, they were upset that you were pushing them into this and trying to make them as rude as you were, and took the other person's side by default to A, try to diffuse the situation, and B, to make you feel bad and crazy. And it worked.
Yeah.
So don't go take a picture of McDonald's employees with the big salt shaker. Everybody there, everybody knows that they salt the fries at McDonald's. The lady salting her fries, she knows that too. She was being defensive.
She might tell herself.
Yeah,
that
sure.
they
All right, but it's other people's food issues, not your concern.
Yeah.
So, Kaz, I appreciate this because I've found myself in the same boat as you many a time. It's one thing to be technically right. It's another thing to recognize that, like, nobody gives a shit if you're technically right in most situations.
Yeah, and there's no prize to be won here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your coworkers aren't going to hoist you up on their shoulders if you come in with a printout of McDonald's.com.
I guess that was too much salt.
Yeah, let's all boo this lady for putting too much salt on her fries.
Also, you start booing her, your blood pressure's going to get all...
even
there's a
higher than it
medical
already
episode.
is.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like if you go to any fast food place and you sit there long enough, you'll see some real sick shit. You'll see people doing things that are like people putting like 10 packets of ketchup on hamburgers, like really, really nuts stuff.
They already put ketchup on the hamburgers. The hamburgers come pre-ketchuped.
I forgot when I got a hamburger recently in, I guess, Massachusetts, that they put mustard on hamburgers outside of New York.
You mention this every week.
Well, every time I'm going to be surprised about it.
Yeah, I love mustard on a hamburger.
It's not bad, yeah. Mustard, Tim, the next thing that's going to be in short supply, apparently.
Really?
Bad mustard seed crop this year, so stock up on mustard
Thanks,
now.
Joe Biden.
If you already stocked up on sriracha sauce.
Tom, I've had the same bottle of sriracha since 2015, and I put it on everything.
I read it. I read about this the other day that similarly they had like a bad chili yield. And I was like, we have to go get sriracha, and yeah, same thing. The bottle that has been in our fridge for 2 years. Now there's a sealed bottle.
Yeah.
But that should be fine because now that's going to carry us through the shortage.
Guess what? The Sriracha people
yeah, they want you to believe that.
Yeah, they just increased their quarterly numbers.
Yeah.
There's no shortage. They're
like, how do we get people to buy a bottle of Sriracha more than once every 3 years?
Yeah, when they have one that still has 2 years left on it.
Yeah.
Like, how long is this chili shortage recently going to be?
A season.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even know how long that is.
Good stuff. I made fried tofu sandwiches tonight with a Sriracha mayo. Tasted delicious.
I love a Sriracha mayo, Tom.
Sriracha mayo.
I've been making
the best
Chipotle
kind of
mayo a lot. Yeah.
Also a good mayo.
Yeah. A lot of different mayos. Kaz, thank you for the email. That was sometimes people write in with a problem, and it's just an entertaining tale, well told, and that's what that was. I think Kaz knows everything that we told them.
Bring in that printout just to be safe.
Yeah, print it out.
If
Shame
it comes
that
up,
woman.
if this person brings it up again,
nobody will ever bring it up again.
I don't know.
They've
this
been
other
trying
person
to
might.
avoid this conversation from the get-go.
This other person might.
But very email. That was the email of the week, Tom.
Okay.
Email of the week.
Well,
week,
we haven't
week.
read all the emails yet.
Yeah, but I've pre-read them.
Oh, okay. And the rest suck, so
Yeah.
people should just stop listening.
Tom, I had a dream, and this I think also plays into my food shame.
Oh, I thought you were going to say maybe a different universe.
No,
Mandela
well maybe.
Effect.
All I know is I was like walking into my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a vegetarian, have been
Yeah.
for a few years.
Yeah, I know that.
And I was housing a McDonald's hamburger, not even a cheeseburger.
And you woke up and your pillow was gone.
No, in my dream, I remember thinking, I gotta stop sneaking these things. Like, I gotta stop on the way home, stopping at McDonald's, getting a plain hamburger, and shoving it into my mouth and telling everybody I'm a vegetarian.
Wow.
Weird, right?
Yeah, I think this is the result of like growing up Catholic. I frequently have like dreams about like having done things that like I would never do, that I just feel like intense guilt about. It's like, oh, nobody knows I did this, but I know. And then I wake up and it's like, oh, that's like not even something I'm interested in doing. Killing a man with my bare hands.
Yeah, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
in a justified situation,
Yeah.
consequence free,
Uh-huh.
God tells you it's okay. Would you murder someone with your bare hands?
Tim, if God appears to me and tells me anything, I'm going to be real cautious about believing that.
You think God's trying to trick you?
No, my first thought is going to be that wasn't God. That was a hallucination. I've never seen God before in my life, but God came down and said, hey, just want to tell you for the first time we're meeting, it's cool to kill somebody.
Tom,
I'm not going to be
you've
mad.
never seen God? You've never looked into the eyes of a
Never looked at
baby?
a pond on a summer's day.
flower blossoming?
No, because I don't want to kill somebody.
Okay. I was trying to trick you into saying that you wanted to choke the life out of somebody.
No, and in fact, I fell down a bad rabbit hole the other day, and
Watching snuff films.
yeah, basically, I like saw this video of like a guy who shot another guy in self-defense. And like the guy didn't die on camera, but he died, shortly after the camera cut out.
Yeah. But you saw the thing that killed him.
Yeah.
The shot.
And it was like 100% justified, where it was like a guy, and it was like, I think it was like a former neighbor, and they had all these problems. And the guy, like, the shooter had like a, like a protection order against this guy, a restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like coming out to go to his car for work, and this guy like comes out of nowhere and starts like screaming at him, and this guy like pulls his gun out right away. He's like, back off, like get on the ground. And the guy's like, no, you're gonna have to shoot me. And then and the guy's backing up, he's trying not to shoot him, and then the guy like takes his shirt off, and he's got a knife in his belt, and he comes at the guy, and the guy shoots him and kills him. And it's like, yeah, that was justified,
And
but
so
like,
you watched more of these?
no.
You said you went down a rabbit hole.
Well, I then watched a YouTube video about it, and then apparently this guy was like on a podcast talking about it. It's like, well, I wouldn't go on a podcast.
Wait, the
if I
guy,
killed somebody.
oh man.
You know, it's even if it's 100% justified, still, you still feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't do it even if God told me it was okay.
All right.
Now,
what
if
if
he
you
told
knew it
me
was
I
God
had
and not
to,
yeah.
there's the only way he could come back.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
this next letter begins, "Hi, Tim and Tom. I love your show and have been a long-time listener. Feel free to use my real name as the fake name you provide to listeners."
Okay.
But
they probably didn't want that part read.
You cut the name off this when you put it in. So just think of a name. It doesn't matter. We don't have to use this person's name.
Stacy Keach.
Stacy Keach writes, "Here's my problem. I'm allowed to bring my dog into work, and every day I take him on walks around our building. Occasionally, while outside, we'll run into a woman that works in an adjacent office, and she loves to stop us to pet the dog." Tom, you following this so far?
Yeah, well, I was trying to look for the email, but
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter,
All right.
Tom. It's Stacy Keach. It's famous actor, Stacy Keach. Can you summarize this so far?
No. I wasn't listening. Something about a dog and a person working
I'm allowed
next
to
door.
bring my dog into work.
Okay.
And every day I take him on walks around our building. Occasionally,
Okay.
while outside, we'll run into a woman that works at an adjacent office.
Okay.
And she loves to stop us to pet the dog.
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I knew
No,
all that.
I
knew all that.
No, you're filling in the holes that I
Yeah.
had.
Am I repeating the same thing? Yeah.
But now I'm giving it my full attention.
Okay. I don't mind people petting my dog, but she always bends over and lets him kiss her face.
Mm.
And I don't mean just a few licks. She lets this dog slobber all over her. Cheeks, chin, nose, you name it. She lets him go to town. For sanitary reasons, I don't want my dog licking this stranger's face since I have no idea of her hygiene habits.
Yeah.
In fact, simply based on how she lets a stranger's dog lick her face over and over gives me the feeling she doesn't care too much at all. This has gone on for a few months, but the worst happened a few days ago. I saw her approaching us and thought of a way to deter her from letting my dog lick her. As she got within earshot, I warned her, "I'd be careful about letting him kiss you. He was just nose deep in coyote poop a few seconds ago." You're living in a cool place. What did she do? She shrugged it off with an, "Oh, I don't mind," and continued to bend over and let my dog lick up and down her face. I was so disgusted my wig shot off. What can I possibly do at this point to get this woman to stop receiving kisses from my dog? For starters, I've already tried keeping track of the time of day she takes her walks in hopes of avoiding her, but she's completely random. Also, there's practically no variability to my route options. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Stacy Keach.
Well, let me ask you this, Tim. Do you think she has a valid concern here?
That the dog is
That like
at
the
risk?
dog could, that the dog could catch something.
Because like the dog is probably frequently nose deep in poop.
Yeah.
A human face, probably, even if another dog licked it, like your dog's face has probably been like, another dog's butt.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I do think it's valid to feel uncomfortable when somebody wants your dog to like violate their face like that.
Yeah.
Day in and day out. It's just like, hey, like I'm going to like have like a weird sexual experience with your dog. You're a dog owner. You have more insight here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a dog owner.
You hate it when people come up to Ginger when you're walking her.
No.
I've seen you reluctantly be like, "There is Ginger."
No, I hate it when people are weird. Like,
yeah.
And that's, in New York City, unfortunately, that's the majority of people. So like, I don't like when weird people come up and want to talk about her. I don't mind if other dog owners come up, because then it's kind of like, oh, okay, like, yeah, the dogs sniff each other, the dogs socialize a bit. But like, yeah, sometimes there are, like, I get Stacy Keach's issue here with that there are some people that are just kind of weird about dogs. And it's like, I don't know if they can't have a dog because of whatever the situation is, and they are just kind of too into dogs.
Yeah.
And act weird with dogs. I mean, there's a maintenance guy that works in the buildings that I live in. I live in one building, but he works
multiple
for
buildings.
He works for a bunch of buildings. But his name's Nestor, and he's the nicest guy, very nice guy. But he'll often talk about, I forget where he's from, somewhere in South America. He's got a very heavy accent, but he'll frequently talk about putting my dog in the oven with rice and beans. And we'll tell my dog, like, we'll like feel her belly and be like, oh, you're getting very big, almost ready to be put in the, I'm not going to do his accent, but almost ready to be put in the oven with some rice and beans. Oh, very delicious. And
that's a good bit, though.
It's a good bit, but like it's
after a while. Yeah.
After a while, it's like, I don't like this. I don't like you talking about eating my dog.
There was a waitress at a restaurant we went to recently, and we were there with my 7-month-old son.
Yeah.
And he was being cute sitting at the table. And the waitress came over, and it was very endearing at first. Again, also heavy accent.
Yeah.
Which also made it like more endearing for some reason. But like was like asking all these questions and was like, oh, he's cute because I got a cute kid.
Yeah.
And then she like started mouthing to
your son.
Yeah, to the kid, like, you and me. Let's go. Not in any unseemly way. Like I'm gonna like
steal your baby.
I'm gonna steal your baby.
Yeah.
Not like let's run away together in a
lovers.
romantic way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like at first
either
it was
way,
funny.
you know what? I bet ultimately, Tim, you wouldn't want either of those to happen.
No. I preferred
Even
my
if your
son came home with us.
Even if your son was into it and he was okay with it, you would still probably.
I think
insist.
I know what's best for him.
Yeah,
at this point.
he's very young.
But like she continued the bit every time she came to the table, and it's like, you and me, let's go, let's go. I'll take you.
But
and it was like, this is funny, but at some point it's like, all right, enough, like, because like it's like one of those things on the news, the parents being like, in retrospect,
they kept
like,
saying it.
She was like harping on it.
She was
I should have
telling
known
us
something was off.
Yeah. But then at the same time, you think about like, because I'm trying to learn Spanish right now because I'm going to Mexico City later this year. And like, I think about learning a second language, like speaking a second language, where it's like, oh, if I had one good bit in a different, if I could get a good bit in Spanish, boy, I'm gonna drive that into the ground doing it over and over again. So I get it. Where it's like, look, I can figure out this one bit in English. It's hard to think of other bits.
And this was a solid bit. Like the way that she did it at first was like, it was so subtle. Like I didn't even realize she was doing it. Like she was really like planning. Which also, like, I was just like, oh, wait. She really, like, tried
another,
to, like...
in retrospect, she wasn't even doing it for my benefit.
Anyway, great service there. We left a great tip.
I'm
a good tipper, Tom. What can I say?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out if this person should be that worried about their dog licking this person's face so much.
I don't think they should be. I think it's just like... This woman's putting you in a weird, uncomfortable position.
Yeah, but like, what can you do about it? Talk to your dog. Tell your dog, hey, stop licking that person's face.
Or like, there's things that you can put on your nails, right? That make your nails taste bitter.
Yeah, you can't put that on like dog's teeth because then it'll always taste like that. I mean, you could make something up like, oh, she has like a mouth illness.
The lady will be like, I've
endured
coyote
but
poop.
Make it like she can't have other people. Put a cone on the dog. Put a cone when you walk
lick
her.
A dog with a cone.
Yeah, but put a cone and be
the
like,
dog can lick. They can't lick their stitches, but they can lick out.
Yeah, but be like, she has a cone on because she can't lick any part of her body because
Put a muzzle on the dog.
she's got yeah, or just muzzle. She's got like acid breath, like acid saliva, like Alien, like the Alien and Aliens. So she
Load it up.
She can't lick herself, and she certainly can't lick you. Your face will melt off, lady.
Or just get a tube system.
What?
Tom, I'm talking.
Okay.
Get a tube system. It runs up the dog's side alongside the face, alongside the mouth. This will never touch the dog's lips.
and it sounds like it'll be close to impossible to detect.
You make it the same. You paint it the same color as the dog, Dub. You put fur on it. I don't know. Get the Jim Henson Creature Shop involved, and then just have it shoot.
Fart spray or something
or
real gross.
The
acid.
Yeah, maim this woman.
Yeah,
turn her into Two-Face.
Wow, what an origin story this woman would have if a dog turned her into Two-Face. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just part of having a dog that weird people are gonna come up to you.
Yeah, stinks.
No.
One time, I was inebriated in college,
and
I was at our friend's house. And he had a dog.
Yeah.
And we were playing video games. And he's like, I'm supposed to take the dog out for a walk. This was like when we all lived with our parents.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was like, I'll do it. I took the dog out. And I didn't know that his next door neighbor was like a vet also who like saw the dogs. And the dog had been sick.
Yeah.
So I'm just like taking the dog for a walk so it'll pee. And the lady came over and she's like, oh, Daisy, talking to the dog. And I was like, this lady, she's talking to the dog. This sucks. But luckily, this doesn't concern me at all.
Yeah.
So, like, I just zoned out because I had been smoking weed. And just zoning out. And the lady's talking to the dog, and she's like, Daisy, did you poop today? And, like, looked up at me. But I was just like, I don't know, lady. Like, this dog's not gonna answer you. I don't know what you're thinking, but really,
she's thinking you would answer.
Yeah, she was thinking I'd answer. I was just like, well, then talk to me. Don't talk to the dog. And by the way, I don't know. I don't know the dog's poop history for the day.
Yeah, don't you know that I'm a stranger to you, lady?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be asking questions about why I have this dog in the first place?
Anyway, I'm not a big fan of when people interact with dogs and ignore the human.
No, me neither. That also happens with Ginger sometimes, where they just talk to her, and I'm like, she understands a few words in English, none of the words you're saying.
Yeah, I'd be like, why don't you let me lick your face? I'm the person.
That's a different.
Have my dog lick your face? Rude.
I feel like this woman that Stacy runs into would allow her to lick her face. You don't want to go down that road.
That's true. There's coyote poop all over that face.
Yeah. If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. You can find all our links to social media there. Also check out patreon.com/complete guide for our secondary podcast, Books of Podcasts. This week, the finale of the book, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Next week, the movie. And you get all the back episodes, the Books of Podcasts, and more.
Tom?
On there. Yeah.
Also this week, a movie's hot take from Tim.
Oh, no. A movie's... Ooh, what a tease. The Patreon servers are going to go into overload with people subscribing to hear this movie hot take.
Yeah.
Also, I have an idea for the next podcast on Books of Podcasts, after Books of Podcasts, after this round. I'm not going to reveal
the
it
palate cleanser episode
the palate
before we start reading
episode.
the next book?
Yeah. But it might be a palate cleanser season.
Oh, wow.
You'll have to sign up to patreon.com/complete guide to find that out.
Promote it here, too.
What?
We'll promote
Well,
it.
if we do it, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to find out before everybody.
Oh, you're going to tell it to me on the Patreon.
Yeah, on the
episode.
Patreon this week. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at your pal Tim.
Tim, do you think we did good work here today?
I don't think so. No.
I mean, I told the where to get the salt information.
Yeah.
Oh,
Siri's talking now.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, all right. No, I wasn't saying sorry to you. These robots, huh?
This is why I disable Siri.
Did you disable Siri?
Yeah, I've never.
What if
had
you have
Siri.
a question for it?
I never have a question for Siri. Tom, I got all my questions. You know where I get all my answers from? Up here. What am I doing?
He's pointing to his own stupid head.
Not stupid.
All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.